There's a question most people never ask themselves. Not because it's complicated, but because the answer terrifies them. Why am I still here? Same habits, same cycles, same excuses dressed up in new words. Years pass, birthdays stack, and somehow, nothing fundamental changes. Most people stay stuck their entire lives, not because they lack talent, not because the world is unfair, but because they never confront the one thing keeping them anchored to the bottom: themselves. That's not meant to sting. It's meant to wake something up. Because the moment a man stops blaming the economy, the system, his childhood, his bad luck, the moment he looks in the mirror and says, "I am the variable I can control," everything shifts. But most never get there, and here's why. They mistake motion for progress. This is the silent killer, the man who stays busy but never moves forward. He's always doing something, always grinding, always hustling, always tired. But if you ask him what's changed in the last 5 years, he goes quiet. Because activity without direction is just noise. Progress requires clarity, knowing where you're going, knowing what actually matters. Most people fill their days with tasks that feel productive but lead nowhere. They answer emails instead of building. They scroll instead of thinking. They react instead of create. And at the end of the decade, they wonder why they're standing in the same place, just more exhausted. They let fear make decisions for them. Every man has a dream he buried, something he wanted before the world told him it was unrealistic, before bills piled up, before people laughed, before failure seemed too expensive to risk. So he shelved it, told himself he'd get to it later, convinced himself that staying safe was the mature thing to do. But safety is a slow death. Seneca warned about this centuries ago. He said people protect their money, guard their property, lock their doors, but waste their time like it's infinite. Most men sacrifice years to avoid a moment of discomfort, and that moment of discomfort was the doorway, the one thing standing between who they are and who they were supposed to become. Fear isn't the enemy. Obeying fear is. They surround themselves with average. Here's an uncomfortable truth. Look at the 5 people you spend the most time with. Their habits, their mindset, their standards, those are becoming yours. Most people don't choose their circle. They just accept whoever's around. Coworkers, old friends who never grew, family members who criticize every ambition, and slowly, invisibly, that environment shapes expectations. A man trying to build something extraordinary cannot be surrounded by people who worship comfort. It's not about arrogance, it's about alignment. Energy is contagious, vision is contagious, and so is mediocrity. Choose your circle like your future depends on it, because it does. They wait for the perfect moment. There's a lie that keeps men paralyzed for decades. I'll start when I'm ready, when the kids are older, when the savings are bigger, when the timing feels right, when Monday comes, when January comes, when life calms down. It never calms down. The perfect moment doesn't exist. It's a mirage that moves every time you chase it. And while you're waiting, someone with half your talent and twice your courage is already 10 steps ahead. Imperfect action beats perfect hesitation every single time. Most people die with their potential still inside them, not because they couldn't, but because they kept waiting for permission the world was never going to give. They refuse to let go of who they were. This one cuts deep, because growth demands sacrifice, not just of bad habits, but of old identities. The man you've been for 20 years has to die for the man you're becoming to live. And most people can't do it. They cling to old stories, old labels, old versions of themselves that feel safe but no longer serve. They'd rather stay loyal to a past self than step into an unknown future. But transformation isn't comfortable. It's not supposed to be. Think of the lobster. In order to grow, it has to shed its shell, completely vulnerable, completely exposed. That's the price of expansion. And most men would rather stay cramped in an old shell than risk the openness required to become something bigger. So where does that leave you? Standing at a crossroads most people never acknowledge. One path is familiar. Same thinking, same circle, same habits wrapped in new intentions. It's crowded on that path because it's easy, and easy feels like safety. The other path is uncertain. It asks you to confront the stories you've been telling yourself, to cut loose what's comfortable, to move before you're ready, to become someone you don't fully recognize yet. That path is quieter, fewer people, harder terrain. But that's where the life you actually want is waiting. Most people stay stuck because they're addicted to the certainty of their current suffering. They know this pain, they've made peace with it, and the unknown, even if it's better, feels like too much to risk. Don't be most people. You weren't built for average. Something in you knows that. Something in you has known it for years, whispering beneath the noise, waiting for you to finally listen. This isn't about hustle culture. This isn't about grinding yourself into dust. It's about alignment, about waking up and knowing that the life you're building actually matches the man you're becoming. That takes honesty, courage, and the willingness to release everything that no longer fits. Most people won't do it. But most people aren't watching this. You are. And that tells me something already.